Good day, everyone. We are the Group 4 from Biosci 1, Section AB 1. Our assigned topic is all about the excretory system, and we are going to present it to Ma'am Isa May Madria, our instructor. In the end of this lesson, we are able to identify the anatomical and physiological processes of each organ, also explain the importance and physiological function of each organ, and lastly, we are able to differentiate the structural and functional relations of the organ system among the vertebrate family.
So let's in this session or video, we will be identifying the anatomy of each organ in excretory system. So first organ in excretory system is the kidney. So this is the anatomy of kidney. So first is we have this renal hilum, which has three main parts, which is renal vein, renal nerve, and renal artery. And the rest is renal medulla. Then it is not part of the kidney, but it is connected to the kidney, which is the ureter and the kidney's capsule, minor calyx, major calyx, renal pelvis, pyramid, papilla, renal column, and this is the renal cortex. The next is the skin. So skin is part of the excretory system because it will be explained by my teammates. So the anatomy of skin is in this figure. It's in this figure. So the skin has its parts, which is the epidermis, melanocytes, dermis, fatty tissue, blood vessels, follicle, oil gland, and the sweat gland. So next we have the lungs. So this is the anatomy of lungs. So this is the thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, trachea, and the right primary bronchus. So we have the right part of the lungs. So in the right lungs we have the upper lobe, but in this upper lobe it has both in left and right. So no mistake. So we have the middle lobe, lower lobe, and this is the right lobe, which is eventually located at the right lungs, right part of the lungs. So in the left side, we have the notch for the heart. So we have the left lobe. So we have lower lobe, upper lobe, lower lobe bronchus, upper lobe bronchus, and the last is the left primary bronchus. So next organ in excretory system is the liver. So this is the anatomy of liver. So we have the liver, whole liver. Then we have its left hepatic duct, right hepatic duct, hepatic portal vein, common hepatic duct, gallbladder, cystic duct. And we have also its connected parts, which is the duodenum. So this is the first part of small intestine, the common bile duct, pancreas, the stomach, the hepatic artery, spleen, and this left hepatic duct. So next part of the next organ in the excretory system is the large intestine. So we have the rectum, sigmoid colon, descending colon, left colic, splenic flexure. So right colic. So this is the or what we call hepatic flexure. Transverse colon, ascending colon, ileum, cecum, and vermiform appendix. And also this is the part of where the anal canal located. So next is the organs in excretory system is the urinary bladder. So this is the anatomy of urinary bladder. So we have its part called peritoneum, detrusor muscle, mucosa, internal urethral orifice, urethra, external urethral orifice, urethra, submucosa, mucosa, rogi, urethral opening, trigone, and the internal urethral sphincter, or it has its involuntary movement, so we can control its movement.
Excretory system, from the word excretion, is the removal of waste products of metabolism from the blood. The excretory products released includes CO2, urea, uric acid, and other substances. It is necessary that these waste products are released to keep the body's vital function in balance. Also, it regulates the amount of water in tissues, the concentration and types of mineral salts in the blood, and the blood's pH level. Here are some important organs of excretory system. We have kidneys. Their blood vessels are located in the abdomen. They constantly produce urine which passes to the bladder. Also, the kidneys are specialized organs that remove toxic waste products called urea from the blood. It also regulates the water content of the blood, or the osmoregulation. The kidneys are well adapted to enable them to carry out the following processes. First, each kidney receives a good supply of blood at high pressure through the renal artery. Each kidney contains hundreds of thousands of tubes called nephrons, which filter substances from the blood. Each kidney has an exit tube, the ureter, to carry away the urine. Lastly, the kidney is under close control by feedback system so that the water saving is always exactly balanced to the body's need. Next is skin. The skin releases sweat through the sweat glands present in the body. It assists in the process of excretion through sweating by eliminating water, salt, and urea. Waste products and water through blood capillaries pass through the walls of capillaries and enter into the glands. Now the sweat glands have ducts that opens into the surface of the skin. Next is we have the lungs. The main waste gas excreted by the lungs is carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of cellular respiration in cells throughout the body. Carbon dioxide so forms passes from bloodstream to lungs, and then from lungs it goes to the bronchi, followed by windpipe, and given out by the nose. Now we have the liver. The liver is a very important organ of excretion. The liver breaks down the substances in the blood, including toxins. Blood supplies from the intestines is brought mesenteric vein into the portal vein of the liver and into the sinusoids. The blood supply includes amino acids, sugars, small fatty acids, and harmful substances. Hepatocytes help break down these substances through process called metabolic detoxification. The liver also excretes bilirubin, a waste product of hemoglobin catabolism, in bile. Bile then travels to the small intestine and is eventually excreted in feces by the large intestine. Large intestine. The large intestine absorbs water and electrolytes, producing and absorbing vitamins and forming and propelling feces toward the rectum for elimination. Eliminates solid waste that remains after the food is digested, and water is extracted from ingestible matter. Lastly, we have the urinary bladder. The bladder's wall relax and expand to store urine, and contract and flatten to empty urine through the urethra. Urinary bladder is a storage vessel for urine to delay the frequency of urination.
The next topic we are about to tackle is all about the importance and physiological function of each organ. So we have here the kidneys, skin, lungs, liver, and lastly the large intestine. So why are kidneys important when it comes in excretion? The kidneys are like bean-shaped organ and reddish-brown color that are found in the sides of our vertebral column. Once atong body mag-extract what it needs gikan sa mga ginakaon or ginainom nato, kasagaran nga mopaingon sa kidney is katong mga na-filter nga wastes of what we eat. So kidneys filter the wastes including urea, salt, and excess water which are flushed out of the body as urine. Also, our kidneys remove acid that is produced by the cells of our body and maintain a healthy balance of water, salts, and minerals such as sodium, calcium, phosphorus, and potassium in our blood. So, ingani ka-importante ang trabaho sa kidney sa atoang body. So, another role sa atoang kidney, why it is very important because it regulates of ions in our blood, nag-regulate pod siya og blood volume, and also our blood pH, and the production of our hormones. So here sa atong next slide, natay question diri nga how do kidneys work? As we can see here in the first picture, these are the three different regions inside the kidneys. Kung ang atong heart na ay 4 major chambers or regions, ang atong kidneys have also 3. So they are named the renal medulla, renal pelvis, and the cortex. So the cortex is the outer part sa atong kidney, kanang medyo light lang pagka-red, where ang function ani is the blood is filtered. The renal medulla, it is the inner part of our kidney that contains the collecting ducts which carry filtrate or what we call mga filtered na nga mga substances nga mopaingon dayon sa pelvis. So ang renal pelvis functions as a funnel for urine flowing to the ureter. Paingon sa ato ang ureter. So here sa atong right side nga picture, we will learn here the process sa atong kidney on how kidneys excrete our waste sa atong body. We all know that kidneys excretion is through production of our urine. Here sa ureter, kanang murag tube din sa picture, its function is to carry urine from the pelvis of the kidneys paingon sa ato ang urinary bladder. Therefore, ang urinary bladder is the organ that holds the urine temporarily lang until it holds up and will be released. And lastly, the urethra, it's like a tube that carries urine gikan sa urinary bladder and then the urine will be released out na jud from our body. So, mao to siya ang importance and function sa atong kidney in excretory system. The next organ we are going to talk about is our skin. The skin performs its excretory function through sweat glands. Ang gina-excrete sa atong skin is water, salt, oil, and other unnecessary substances. Sweating also helps to cool the body during evaporation. So in integumentary system, we will be talking about the different kinds of glands. It's because the excretion of skin is via the production of sweat by our glands. So we have here 4 different glands named the sudoriferous glands, sebaceous glands, ceruminous glands, and the mammary glands. Sudoriferous glands, these are the glands that secrete sweat through your skin. So, ang sudoriferous glands, naapod siya 2 types of sweat glands. It is called the eccrine glands and the apocrine glands. Ang eccrine glands, these glands are found throughout all the skin, but are especially abundant on the palms of the hand, the soles of the feet, and the forehead. Unlike sa apocrine gland, nagdevelop siya in areas with many hair follicles such as on the scalp, sa atong armpits, and sa mga gruban. So, mao to siya ang two types of glands sa ato ang sweat glands. Here na pod sa atong sebaceous glands, ang function ani niya is to produce sebum or oil and give your face its oil. So, kani nga glands naa ni siya sa ato ang face. Mao'y iyahang gina-produce, gina-excrete ang oil. Sa ceruminous glands, these are the glands in your ear that secrete earwax. And also lastly, the mammary glands. These are the glands on a person's chest in people assigned female at birth, or the AFAB. Mammary glands produce milk after giving birth. So mogawas rin ni siya nga gland, mag-excrete rin siya kung maburos ang usa ka babae. So, mao to siya, importante kaayo nga i-introduce sa inyo ha ang integumentary system when we are talking about the different kinds of glands. It is because ang atong skin, ang iyang excretion is through the production of sweat by our glands.
The next organs are part of the respiratory system, but they are also important organs in the excretory system. These organs are the lungs. They are responsible for the excretion of gaseous waste from the body. The main waste gas excreted by the lungs is the carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of cellular respiration in cells throughout the body. Exhaled air contains water vapor and trace levels of some other waste gases. Liver is a very important organ in excretion. It has numerous major functions including secreting bile for digestion of lipids, synthesizing many proteins and other compounds, storing glycogen and other substances, and secreting endocrine hormones. Liver regulates most chemical levels in the blood and excretes a product called bile. This helps carry away waste products from the liver. It transforms ammonia, a poisonous byproduct of protein catabolism, into urea, which is filtered by the kidneys and excreted in urine. The liver breaks down many substances in the blood, including toxins, and also it secretes bile for digestion of lipids and bilirubin, a toxic metabolite of heme in bile. The last but not the least organ of the excretory system is the large intestine. The large intestine is an important part of the digestive system, and it is the final organ in the gastrointestinal tract. Its main function is to eliminate solid waste that remain after the digestion of food and extraction of water from indigestible matter in food waste. The waste product is called feces, and it will be expelled from the body through the anus and the rectum. These excretory organs are very important in our body because when our cells perform their functions, certain waste products are released. These waste products are toxic in our body, and if they are not removed, they can cause serious problems in our body and can even cause some diseases.
So in this section, we are going to learn to differentiate the structural and functional relations of the organ system among the vertebrate system. So what is vertebrate system? So when we say vertebrate, it is an animal with backbone. So any vertebrate classified under subphylum vertebrate is an animal with backbone. It consists of several broad classes such as fish, amphibians, birds, reptiles, and mammals. So, fish is a limbless. When we say limbless, it has no arms or no legs. They are also cold-blooded vertebrate animal with gills and fins and living wholly in water. And our second is the amphibians. These are animals that can able to live both in water and on land. And also reptiles. These are animals that crawls, lay eggs, cold-blooded, and their body is covered with scales or hard parts. And also we have mammals. This includes human and all other animals that are warm-blooded vertebrates with hair. They feed their young with milk and have a more well-developed brain than other types of animals. And lastly, we have birds. Birds are warm-blooded egg-laying vertebrate distinguished by the position of feathers, wings, and a beak, typically by being able to fly. So if an animal can able to fly, it is a bird. So fish. So on the right side of the presentation, it is the excretory system of the fish. So how wastes are excreted out of the body. So the kidneys process the blood, removing the waste products. The intestines extract the nutrients from the food and remove the solid waste. The liver breaks down the toxins in the waste and stores them in the gallbladder. And also the ammonia is the main waste product excreted by the nitrogen metabolism of fish. So if you would ask, why do fish produce ammonia? It is because ammonia accumulates easily in aquatic systems because it is a natural byproduct of fish metabolism. So next is the amphibian. So on the right side of our presentation, it is the anatomy of the frog. So frog's excretory system is made up of kidneys, bladder, ureters, and the cloaca. Kidneys filter the blood and remove the urea and converting it into urine, while ureters are connected to kidney and urine passes through a tube into the bladder. Then the bladder stores the urine until it passes through the cloaca. And finally, the cloaca, it is the exit chamber for the digestive, excretory, and reproductive system. So our next is the bird. So on the right side of our presentation, it is the internal anatomy of a bird. So excretory system of birds is composed of kidneys, ureters, and cloaca. These are responsible for eliminating waste from the blood of these animals. So kidney extracts components of the urine from the blood, while ureters are conduits that are used to transport the urine directly to the sewer. Since birds do not have a bladder, the ureters must deposit the filtrate through the kidneys into the sewer chamber intended for storage. And also, birds have a single hole to expel feces, urine, and lay eggs. The function of cloaca is it allows the execution of these functions to the extent that the bird needs it. Within it are multiple folds of skin and muscle that subdivide it into cameras suitable for different uses. So our next is the reptiles. So our example here is a lizard. It is the internal anatomy of the female lizard on the left side of our presentation. So how is the mechanism of excretion occurs? The kidneys operate to take care of an extracellular setting among the body. They release waste products, maintain traditional concentrations of salt and water, regulate acid-base balance, and turn out a range of hormones and vitamins. The excretion system is also referred to as a renal system. So our last here is about the mammals. The perfect example for this is humans. On the right side of our presentation, it is the excretory system of human. So the human excretory organs include kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra. So kidneys filter the blood, and urine is the filtrate obtained. Urine passes to the urinary bladder via ureter and is expelled out of the body. This is known as micturition. So if you would ask, is skin part of the excretory system of human? Well, the answer is yes. Skin is a secondary excretory organ since sweat glands in the dermis can remove salts and some excess water. The skin performs its excretory function via the sweat glands. These glands produce sweat that contains salt, excess oils, water, and other unnecessary substances which are then excreted out of the body through small pores. So skin is part of the excretory system of the human. So finally, if you notice, the most common organ among the vertebrate system is the kidney. That is why kidney is the main organ of excretory system. That's all. Thank you.